Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning.
So where are you on this travel ban? Good idea, bad idea?
Oh, I think the administration's been a little inconsistent in how they've portrayed it. But I do think the idea of vetting, properly vetting, thoroughly vetting these people coming out of these 7 countries is the right public policy. I think President Trump is right. It's what he campaigned on. I'm glad he's doing it. I think it needs to be done. We had the FBI director testify before Congress that these people are not properly vetted. So the safety and security of the United States needs to come first.
But aren't green card holders properly vetted for years?
Yeah, they should. Oh, I think they, to suggest that legal permanent residents, green card holders, should be part of this, that was an early mistake. It was cleared up, as best I can tell, within hours. But I do think that was not the right move.
So it's your understanding that they are not a part of it. They are not that. So green card, legal permanent residents are not a part of the travel ban. They can come back. And what about the permanent or indefinite ban on Syrian refugees?
Well, I didn't see it as an indefinite ban. I do think in a war-torn country, when you feel for these people, right? I mean, there is death and destruction, and there has been a massive problem for years now. And I've been to the refugee camps in Jordan and other, and you know, where there's 80,000 people there. But these people have to be properly vetted, and I don't think that's asking too much. I think that's what the country wants.
Sure, but I mean, we've heard from so many people in the State Department and other organizations that they spent 18 months vetting them, and the Trump administration does say it's indefinite on Syrian refugees.
Well, if you actually go in and look at how they do the vetting, sometimes these vetting interviews are, you know, 8, 10, 12 minutes. Some of them are longer. But until you can actually go through and figure out exactly who they are, you know, I think you need to be very cautious that way. I just do. And that's what President Trump campaigned on, and he won pretty convincingly. So I think he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
So why do you think the execution was so messy or chaotic?
I mean, I chalk it up to being in the first few days in office. I also think it's incumbent upon the Democrats to confirm the president's nominees for these cabinet positions. Until you have his senior management team in place, it's hard to also be critical of a White House who needs this help in each of these departments and agencies. So if on the one hand the Democrats are going to complain about the execution, don't also hold up their nominees. We need Tom Price, for instance, as the Health and Human Services Secretary. We needed the Homeland Security Secretary in place probably earlier so he and his team could make sure that it was properly executed. I think they've cleaned it up, but I do check it up for the first few days.
But are you blaming the Democrats for the chaotic execution of the travel ban?
No, I'm just highlighting the need to confirm these people to the senior level of these departments and agencies. No, of course it's not. This is on Donald Trump. I think it was an early mistake in terms of its execution. I think the public policy is right, and I think they've hopefully learned from it. Certainly, the execution of the announcement of the Supreme Court nominee was, by all accounts, I think, flawless, and they even kept it secret. So they have certainly come a long way in the first 10 days or so.
Congressman, you, of course, are the chairman for the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. You do all sorts of investigations into possible malfeasance. 43 items have been listed in a proposed agenda for what you want to look into. Will you be looking into any of Donald Trump's possible conflicts of interest?
Well, the items that we listed are broad strokes. This is the Trump administration, so by definition, all of those 43 items are going to be about what's going on in the Trump administration. Now, we're obviously going to have to look back. If you're going to look at what the government has been doing, that'll be on the Obama administration. I will deal with the situations with Donald Trump one at a time. I am not going to personally target the president. I didn't do that with Barack Obama. But as issues come up, we'll deal with them one at a time.
Well, Democrats say issues have already come up and that they're not listed in your 43 proposed agenda points. For instance, will you be looking into whether or not President Trump or any of his businesses with the Trump Organization have received foreign funds somehow?
Well, again, I'm not going to. I know the Democrats are flailing about this issue, and they want stir the pot. It's about the only thing they have to do at this point. But I think the president is required to do his financial disclosure. By all accounts, he has done that. The president is exempt from most of all of the conflict of interest laws.
What about the emoluments clause that we hear so much about that he is not exempt from?
No, there's an interesting lawsuit in place, and it'd be interesting to see how it goes forward on the courts. That is not something I'm looking at right now. We have been looking at the GSA lease. I did ask this is the Trump Hotel. It's in Washington, D.C., where the president is both, he's leasing the hotel, but he's also now the chief executive.
Yeah.
And so we did ask back in December for a copy of that contract. That was provided in the last 48 hours or so, some 500 plus pages, and we'll see where that goes.
But are you comfortable?
No,
but you're comfortable with the Trump Hotel and even building more and foreign dignitaries coming to stay there. So far from what you've seen, you're comfortable with how it's working?
Well, my understanding is if there's somebody who's coming from a foreign country, then those profits are going to be given directly to the Treasury. So, like I said, I did initiate in December asking for a copy of this contract to see how it looks. So we'll deal with these issues one at a time as they come up.
Okay, Congressman Jason Chaffetz, keep us posted. Thank you very much.